Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm going to talk to you today about the Choctaw Code Talkers in World War One. Now, everybody knows about the Navajo Code Talkers in World War II, and they did amazing things. Where they got the idea of Native American Code Talkers, though, was in World War One. I'm saying this because it's Native American Heritage Month, but not Choctaw Indians in Mississippi, but Choctaw Indians in Oklahoma with the Choctaw Nation. Not the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians, which are located here in Mississippi, but the Choctaw Nation, which is in Oklahoma. Choctaw Nation had some soldiers that were in the 142nd U.S. Infantry in World War One. And there were Mississippi Choctaws that did fight, but they didn't become code talkers. Some of the ones, 19 Choctaws from Oklahoma did become code talkers. Let me explain this. The Germans broke every single code the Allies had in French and English during World War One, or just about everyone. So they needed a new language. And so what happened was the Choctaws that were from Oklahoma that were in the 142nd Infantry Division, there were some Caucasian soldiers that overheard them talk amongst themselves. The Choctaws talk amongst themselves in Choctaw. So they asked what the language was, and they believed that the Germans could not decipher what the Choctaws would be broadcasting in Choctaw. And so they made 19 Choctaw Indians from Oklahoma code talkers, and the Germans never broke a code in Choctaw. One captured German soldier after some of the battles that were broadcasted in Choctaw by the Allies. One of the German soldiers said what nationality was on the radio, and one of the Caucasian soldiers looked at him and said American. And they were American soldiers just like anybody else. And despite all the broken treaties that the United States government had with the Choctaws, and some were allowed to stay in Mississippi with the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians, but then the majority of the Choctaws were forced to relocate from Mississippi to Oklahoma. But despite that, many Choctaws enlisted in the United States Army to fight for the United States in World War One. And the reason being is because Native Americans largely have a warrior culture. There's a number of reasons. The economic situation was not that great at the time. So they needed, some of them, that was the highest paid job they could get. But a lot of them, it was their homeland for better or worse, and they had an obligation through their tribe to defend their tribal land and their tribal homeland. And their tribal homeland was on the United States at the time. Well, the contribution the Choctaws had made, the Code Talkers had made, the Choctaw Code Talkers had made, is actually on October 26, 1918, they were able to broadcast an American withdrawal, to withdraw from one point to another to keep from being annihilated by the Germans. And they also discovered another position in the battle that wasn't as heavily defended by the Germans. And so they were able to overrun a key German position and able to exploit a lot of the weaknesses in that certain position. And that was an amazing thing that those code talkers did. Years later, they were awarded medals, and there's a bridge in Texas named after these Choctaw code talkers as well. And the World War One, a lot of Native Americans, because not just the Choctaws, but a lot of Native American tribes enlisted to fight in World War One despite the discrimination they received. And a lot of them were not citizens of the United States at that time. But a lot of them in 1924 were given U.S. citizenship. They were given voting rights, whether if they chose to assimilate into the mainstream Caucasian culture or not. They were given voting rights and citizenship rights. And World War One was really, their service in World War One was really a turning point where they didn't receive as much discrimination in the United States as they had in the past. Well, this is not heavily known in textbooks. A lot of Native American chiefs will say you dig deeper into World War One, you'll find them. So we really need to appreciate what the Native American soldiers did for us in World War One. Hope everybody's doing well. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.